Hello, everybody, and welcome to KGUN 9's streaming sports talk show, The Huddle. I'm Pat Parris. Jason Barr not with us this week. He's on vacation, well-deserved. So we thought we'd go ahead and do one of these Huddle shows without Jason because we've actually got a very, very special guest today. And so we're going to get right to it. There he is, Kevin Newman, the former Arizona Wildcat shortstop, and now with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kevin, great to have you playing back in the state of Arizona again. You're certainly well-versed on the Grand Canyon State, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah, sure thing. Kevin, let's start by talking about your alma mater because unfortunately they just lost in the regional. I know you're super busy with the major league season, and I know you probably don't watch as much as you'd like, but you had to have seen that they bowed out quickly in the regional. Your thoughts? Certainly disappointment down here in Tucson.
Yeah, I was following them pretty closely. That's a bummer, obviously. I know you ask any of those guys, they want to go deep in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, unfortunate, but I think the up-and-coming baseball in Tucson right now is great. I think the show out, they sold out High Corbett, super exciting. Chip's doing an awesome job. So I think it's up and up right now.
We do a weekly poll question, and I'll just get your thoughts on it as well. We're going to pop the poll question up here. Do you consider the Wildcats baseball season a success, even with the elimination in the Tucson Regional? The answers are A, yep, we're the final Pac-12 champs. B, not after such a disappointing finish. Or C, I'm ready to see the Cats in the Big 12 next year. Now, if you're like me, I see a little bit of truth in all of those, but which one would you pick?
I gotta say, it's hard to win the Pac-12. It's super competitive. They also won the tournament, so I think that was awesome. I think that's huge for the school, huge for those guys. Again, man, they all wish they could have gone deeper in the tournament, but as we know with all college tournaments, it's pretty insane what can happen. March Madness, NCAA tournament, upsets. So it's I definitely think it was a successful season for them.
Yeah, definitely. And you can viewers can go to KGUN9.com and vote on this poll question. Kevin, I'll ask you quickly before we get into the major league stuff here is, to see the Pac-12 go by the wayside. You're a California guy. You played college ball here at Arizona. You know how important the Pac-12 has been to all of us out here in the West for so long. What are your thoughts about it disappearing?
Yeah, I haven't had too much time to really sit back and kind of think hard on that. It almost seems like it's not even true. As I was coming up in high school and being recruited by colleges, I told everybody outside the Pac-12 that was recruiting me, like, no, I'm going to stay in the Pac-12. That was my goal. That was where I wanted to go play. Those were the teams I wanted to compete against. So it's definitely, a strange feeling to think, the Pac-12's no longer. So, yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah, well, now we'll be rooting for them in the Big 12 as they advance onto that conference. Kevin, let's talk about your career and now with the Diamondbacks. We're going to show just a couple of weeks ago you had the big walk-off hit. There's nothing like a walk-off, right? Tell me what that's like because you've done it more than once, obviously, in your major league career. What's that like?
It's funny. I get asked that a lot, and I think it's the single best feeling that you could ever experience in an athletic setting. I think that as the hitter, you send your brothers in the clubhouse home happy. You send the fans home happy. You send the entire city is happy, and it's like it came at your at bat. And you were able to come through for everybody. It's a really filling feeling.
Yeah. And you're the one that gets to be interviewed after the game too. And sometimes you get dumped by the Gatorade and all that kind of stuff. You probably don't know this, Kevin, and I don't blame you because you don't know a broadcaster in Tucson, but I did the Cardinals for about 15 years on the broadcast. And then I was doing the Diamondbacks a few seasons ago. And we're going to show a little video of when I got dumped when Daniel Descalzo had a walk-off one day.
Yep.
And I know the feeling. And what people don't realize is how cold it is and suddenly how wet you get, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, you get chilled to the bone for sure, but it's a good chill. But yeah, it stays with you for a little while. I'm sure now you know.
Yeah, exactly. And and it's sticky. It's very sticky if it's the Gatorade. Sometimes you get lucky and it's the water. Well, enough about that. All right. So you've experienced it more than me, and I've only been a bystander in that event. The Diamondbacks right now, you're on a little bit of a roll. Got a 3-game winning streak going. You're playing tonight. You're back in the lineup tonight. What's this team like in your estimation? You weren't on it last year. I want to ask you about that, but it still has that feel that you guys are just ready to break out.
Yeah, I mean that's put really well. We want to get rolling. Now is a good time. We're just trying to go out there, and I think kind of right now our identity, especially with some of the injuries that we've had, is just grind, kind of in grind mode. Play for each other, go out there, compete every at bat, every pitch. Try to score as many runs as possible. Obviously, that's the goal, but right now runs are at a premium for us just because we are so injured. So it's just a matter of going out there and taking care of what we can take care of, controlling what we can control, and doing everything we can to score runs and put zeros up for the other guys.
Kevin Newman, our guest here on the Huddle, the Diamondback shortstop. Kevin, you had the thrill of being one of the 19 first-round draft picks by the University of Arizona in the Major League Draft. What was that thrill like to be a number one pick, the 19th overall pick, but a first-round pick?
It was really exciting. I'll never forget that moment. Being able to share it with my family, my friends, lots of loved ones. It was truly special. It was a dream come true. That's something that every professional baseball player dreams of doing, and to have that opportunity, and the University of Arizona bringing me in and allowing me to play baseball there for 3 years and setting me up for that was something I'll forever be grateful for.
And I know Andy Lopez was a huge part of that, right? Here at the U of A, and I think Chip Hell's continuing it now because, of course, he has major league managing experience too. But it means so much, doesn't it, to have a coach that sets you up to succeed not only at the college level but then at the next level at the majors?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Andy Lopez was a huge part of my career path and trajectory. He brought me in, and as much as he helps players develop on the field, it's off the field too. I think he's a big proponent of getting the most out of you athletically, but also teaching you to become a young man. And I think he did a great job at that. And I love his coaching style. I loved how intense he was, and I loved how much he pushed me personally. He wanted to get every bit of success out of me and push me to my limits, and that's what he did. And I'm really glad that he did.
So 2015, you get drafted 19th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you work your way through the system, and you had a special day. I think it was October 14th, 2021, right? Four doubles in one game. That's hard to do. In fact, it was only done. Hannes Wagner was the only one that's ever done that before you, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I know I don't know the exact stat, but yeah, I remember getting put in the same sentence with him, and that was pretty special.
Yeah, that's a big time name to have your name associated with Hannes Wagner. What are you just in a groove right then? I mean, are you in that zone, as they say?
It's kind of funny. Baseball works in weird ways. Honestly, I think I was grinding at that time. I wasn't in a good groove. I obviously first at bat hit a double. That's always a great feeling. And then two of the doubles, the last one was off of a position player. So I think we were beating the Brewers pretty good. They threw a position player in there in the 8th or 9th inning. Eighth inning I probably was, and I hit the last one. So kind of funny, I'll take it. I'll take all of them. But sometimes, you have those days, and when they come, and they feel really great.
You played for the Reds, now the Diamondbacks. How happy were you when the Diamondbacks and you came to an agreement during the offseason you could come here and play back in the state of Arizona?
Yeah, I was thrilled. My family and I both were. We're obviously so familiar with Arizona, so many friends and family out here, that it was kind of a full circle moment, as I've said quite a bit. And so to be able to get back here and like I said, once we agreed to terms with them, and it was really exciting for us.
You have quite a family history of great athletes, right? I think your dad and your sister played tennis at NAU. Your wife, of course, played tennis here at the U of A. What is it about your family with all the athletes? Well, your mom taught skiing too, I think, something like that.
Yep, yeah, she was a professional ski instructor, and then my other sister played D1 water polo at San Diego State. So, yeah, just always competitive. My parents always put us in all the sports, and then let us decide kind of which ones we wanted to pursue and which ones we loved the most. But I think they always just provided us with the ability to go and play what sport we wanted, and they made the sacrifices to take us to tournaments and never said no. And I think whether it was going to tournaments or just going in the backyard and throwing the ball around or playing ping pong or whatever it was always something fun. And then when we all three did it, all three of us as kids, it was always competitive. So kind of just fueling off each other always.
Yeah, I'll bet there was quite the battles in the sports you guys were playing together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. When was the time that you knew that baseball was going to be your sport while others were doing water polo and tennis in your family?
I think for me it was my sophomore year in high school. My freshman and sophomore year, I played baseball and basketball, and I think I had a really good baseball year, and I was just like, I'm gonna focus all on baseball. So I dropped basketball, really leaned in and gave my all to baseball, and had another good year after that, and then kind of thought like, hey, this is something that I think I'd be able to do past high school, and then so just kept working hard, doing everything I could to try and get to the next level. It's kind of how I've always been.
Well, let's wrap this up, Kevin. We and say one more time about the U of A and do you know Chip Hale well, and have you spoken with him and look and just give me your thoughts about the future as they now head into the Big 12.
Yeah, Chip and I, we say hello when we saw each other, in the big leagues when he was coaching. I actually haven't spoken to him since he's been down at U of A, but I think what he's doing with the program is great. I think they're on a great path. Excuse me. And obviously the support that they got this last year towards the end of the year and building off a great year. I'm really excited to see where they go from this. Entering in new conference, new schedule, new teams. I think it's really exciting, and proud to call myself a Wildcat.
There you go, Kevin. That's perfect. We appreciate your time, and best of luck tonight against the Giants. And hope you guys can extend that winning streak to 4 games and then just go from there.
Heck yeah, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and bear down.
All right, bear down. There you go, Kevin. Thank you. All right, Kevin Newman, our guest here on the Huddle, playing the Giants tonight. He'll bat in the ninth spot, hitting .259 right now, a couple of home runs, dozen RBIs. He is playing a terrific shortstop right now for the Diamondbacks, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's gets the primary job for the Diamondbacks right now as their shortstop and in the 9-hole right now in that Diamondbacks lineup. You mentioned all the injuries, but they continue to scuffle, and they're holding their own, and we'll see if they can get healthy and get on a roll, the Diamondbacks this year. One other note before we let you go here on the Huddle for this week, mentioned that Jason Barr is off on a well-deserved vacation, and we'll continue on in his absence for now, and he'll be back in a couple of weeks, as the Huddle will be as well. The note I want to talk about, it's just something to get off my chest, because that's what we can do here on the Huddle, and that's the situation with Laura Ianello, the golf coach at the University of Arizona, who's now left. She accepted the head coaching position at Texas. This after just getting an extension signed. This just after they finished that brand new, terrific golf facility, top golf facility in the country at Tucson Country Club. You just wonder why she would leave. This is a golf coach who was a national champion as a golfer with the Wildcats in 2000, helped them win the women's golf title national championship in 2018, has been a Pac-12 Coach of the Year a couple of times now. Texas woos her away, and you wonder if it isn't the SEC, as Texas is off to the SEC, is just another example of the SEC and all that money coming in from television. And if it doesn't concern you at this point, it probably should. It does me that these SEC schools have such deep pockets now, and things like this at a non-major sport they start taking top flight coaches out of the U of A. And that tells you where the hierarchy is right now in college athletics. You've got the SEC and the Big Ten right behind that. And then there's a drop off between the Big 12 and the ACC. And it concerns me a lot as far as the future for the U of A in golf. Well, that women's job is highly regarded. I don't think they'll have a problem. Athletic director Desiree Reed-Francois wishing her well, Laura well, in her pursuits in Austin. But she is convinced that because of the new golf center, because of the national status of the U of A, that they'll find a coach rather quickly to fill that slot. And you wonder if they'll look right on the alumni list of the U of A in women's golf. I know it's not maybe the most high-profile sport in college athletics right now, but it's an important one for the U of A. And they lost a great coach in Laura Ianello, and unfortunately, she goes to an SEC-bound school in Texas, and you just wonder if we're going to see a lot more of that across all of college athletics. We shall see. Well, that'll do it for the Huddle for this week. We thank you so much for joining us. We will maybe be back next week. We'll certainly be back in 2 weeks with the summer schedule. You don't know. But again, Jason Barr on vacation. We will see about next week, and maybe in 2 weeks, we'll be back with you to talk much more about Tucson sports, Wildcat athletics, and whatever's happening in the world of sports. Thank you so much for watching the KGUN 9 streaming show, The Huddle. We'll see you next time.